There's a lot of advices about uploading on YouTube. And after going through some different creators' videos, after going through some help forums and actual YouTube documentation, I actually realized something. Some of what people repeat all the time is completely true, and some of it is just a personal workflow that got repeated, so now it's actually sound like a rule. And some of it does not match what YouTube's own documentation actually says. So in this video, I went through the paperwork, the real pages, not what somebody else says about YouTube workflow, but the actual YouTube help documentation. And I'm going to show it to you on the screen. And every topic gets 3 layers. What people says, what YouTube says, and what I actually do. And all of the documentation will be linked down below, so you can read every single page yourself. Okay, let's go. Hi, I'm Alina, and this is my creator diary. This is not a giant YouTube Studio masterclass. This is upload flow, what I actually use. So we will be walking through every single page in order. So if you want to follow along on your screen, you're very, very welcome. And when something in YouTube's documentation says it's a rule, I will be showing it to you on the screen, versus where there's something my personal workflow, I will absolutely tell you about that too. So before I even open YouTube Studio, I try to make a few decisions. Because if I can open upload screen and then I don't have anything ready, then I just start second guessing myself. So I usually have a short checklist I want to be ready before I start. Something like working title needs to be ready, my thumbnail needs to be ready, I need to have a first lines of my description drafted. Also, I need to know in which playlist my video can go, and also one of the idea what can go on a screen. And when I have all of that things ready, that already removes huge amount of stress. And there's also one more thing. There's one-time setup in YouTube Studio, but most people never use. So I'm going to show it to you first. So first of all, I want to talk to you about upload default. So if we can go to the documentation from YouTube, it actually says that upload defaults are settings that I apply to all of web uploads according to your choices. So you can actually choose defaults for your video privacy settings, category, title, tags, comments, language, and more. And you can also still change settings after you upload the video on a video page. So when we go back to our uploads, we can go to YouTube Studio and we can go down below right here in our setting. So if you go right here into upload defaults, you can see that we have a title right here. So for example, if you're repeating your title or maybe certain keywords in your title every single time, you can just put it right there if you want. But like for me, I think the biggest part is description, because I keep my recurring description template right here and I have everything there, like my resources, links. So everything what needs to go in the video, it's already right there. And then I can just modify it, depends on my video. And for example, if you also participate in Amazon affiliate program, you also need to mention that when available, I use affiliate links and may earn commission. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. And I also add that I may also earn from other retailers and programs too. So all of this part fills automatically, and I'm not starting from a blank box every time. The same goes with visibility and the same goes with tags. And if you go into advanced settings, right here you can also choose if you want to allow automatic chapters and key moments, or if you don't want it. your license, your language, caption certification. Like for me, this content has never aired on television in the United States. Then we can also choose the comments if we want comments on and off, what moderation we want, and show how many viewers like this video. I also want to mention when we go to the channel, and if you go into advanced settings, make sure that you say no, set this channel as not made for kids. I almost never upload content that's made for kids. And reason why, because then you don't need to go back and forth into your uploading screen to set it up. It's already will be there. And after you're done and you change anything, if you're adjusting or you're changing anything, just make sure you always hit save. So you just do it once and then it's all done. And quick note before we get to upload factor. I heard a lot of people say that you need to rename your file with a lot of keywords because that helps YouTube to understand your content. But I did not find anything in YouTube's official uploads or discovery documentation, and file name is not even mentioning as a ranking factor. So like for example, all of my files, when they get exported from Descript or DaVinci, they name however I exported them. It's actually helping me to see which file then came from Descript and which file came from YouTube. But I noticed none of them really affecting my views. So if renaming takes you a couple of seconds and it gives you peace of mind, it's absolutely great. But make sure it does not become one of those things that delay posting your video. So for the purpose of this video, we can hit create right here and we can start with uploading videos. And I can go into my folders, and just for this purpose, we can choose this video right here. And this is where you will be spending most of your upload time. So I can go through every single field in the order YouTube showing it to you. So first of all, we can start with the title. So people say like optimize for SEO score, chase the highest keywords rating, keep it under specific character count. But if you go here in YouTube documentation, YouTube says that titles and thumbnails and description are the most important metadata for discovery. So like this one says that identify one or two main words that describe your video and feature them prominently in both your description and title. And if you can scroll and read through all of this, they do not give a magic character count in their documentation. So what I do when I upload my video, I usually aim for around 9 to 11 words. So it's clear enough to describe the video, but it's also short enough to read on a phone without getting cut off. But you can see right here, the video just picked up everything from my file name right here. So it's the same got into title. So for this reason, I usually prepare my titles, but I also make something very searchable, but also with something that sounds natural. And I also sometimes use vidIQ score. It's like useful guidance. And the most important thing, your title and thumbnail should tell the same story. So if they're saying different things, the viewer is confused before they even click. So as you can see, the title I chose is 67, but we can go with something what vidIQ may be recommending for me, and it's 85. So even if you choose this title, or let's say even this title, it's once again needs to tell the same story. It needs to sound like you, and we need to make sure viewer is not confused before they even click on your title. So next part is description. And what a lot of people say is that fill the whole description and more keywords means better SEO. But if you go once again into official documentation from Google, they say that consider using the first few lines of your description to describe your video because it's what viewers will see first. So YouTube says to think of the description as a two parts, right? The first few lines matter most because it shows before And then if we click on it, it will show more after that. And also for the description, you have 5,000 characters. So I have one template preset and I have a second template preset. And the reason why I have two different templates, because if I have affiliate links, then I usually use my second template. But if I don't, I usually use my first template. But once again, you can just create one simple template, and then you can just remove the part with affiliate links, or maybe just twist it a little bit like that. I can just delete it and I can show it to you right here. So you see title, case, hook, context line. That's where my SEO hook line. It's 1 or 2 sentences. They're search friendly and very specific. And this what sits above show more. So it needs to be way more clear, but it will also help your description and overall your video. Then after that, I usually have resources mentioned. And this is when I put my affiliate links. You can see they're not highlighted, but when you click publish, then they will get highlighted and they will be blue instead of like white in this case. After that, I have about this video, and that's where I put 1-2 lines maximum from vidIQ, or maybe my own. It's a couple sentences what's actually in my video. It's not really repeating SEO line, but it's natural explanation on what viewer gets in my video. Then I have like watch next, and that's a couple of the videos I promote during my initial video. You can also add something like playlist. So it's like related videos. It makes sense as a next step from this one. And then we go to chapters, and then I add this to almost like every video. It's also optional extra, and you can add manual chapters yourself, or you can let YouTube override your chapters, and we can talk about it more deeper later on. But if you start your manual chapters, make sure you always start from 0000. So it's like intro, and then you kind of go from that. And then after that, I usually can put like my shop and follow for more. Depends on situation. Like I said, all of this are not clickable right now, but all of these links will be clickable later on in my description. And as I said, here's a disclosure and context. And once again, if you participating as an Amazon associate, you need to make sure that you do have this sentence as your affiliate disclosure. And after our description, we're actually going into thumbnail section right here. And what YouTube says that, and YouTube resources note that the large majority of top performing videos, they actually use custom thumbnails, and the thumbnails alongside titles and descriptions are primary metadata helping viewers decide what to watch. So I always upload custom thumbnails, but you also have an option like upload the file auto-generated, and you can also do A/B testing. So like you see, if you go auto-generated thumbnail, it's already gave me a couple of the thumbnails, which of course you can choose something like this, and you know, it's not bad, but I do prefer to upload my own files. So if you go to the files, you can see I have it for this one. This is my primary thumbnail, and I always have it ready before I publish. And this is the one thing that should be done before you really hit publish or schedule. And your title and thumbnail are two things that working for your video in the first hours. So don't go live without both of them already. It doesn't need to be anything super fancy, but it just needs to complement each other. And after that, we going and we choose our playlist. And what I do, I add the video to its playlist while it's still set to private. So I can go and choose playlist, or not first, I think systems that keep me in flow. But you need to make sure that your video is set to private and not unlisted. Because if you have a public playlist and you can add unlisted video to it, then that video can become visible to anyone who finds that playlist before it's intended to go live. So my order, it's upload, set my video to private, then add to playlist, then finish everything, and then schedule. And after that, we're going into audience tab, and this is we need to set not made for kids, and as you can see, it's already set not made for kids, and we kind of move on. But I also want to highlight for you some paperwork, because YouTube says if content is marked as made for kids, some features may be restricted or turned off on this content, and something like notification, maybe comments, and personalized recommendations, they're restricted or disabled. And under COPPA, if your content is genuinely made for children, you are legally required to mark it correctly. But my videos are not made for kids, so I set it to no, it's not made for kids, and it's in my upload default, so it's already filled in automatically. And then we need to open show more, or maybe it's already automatically open. And I want to go to this paid promotion button. And paid promotion button is that there's a lot of people say this only applies if a brand paid you money, free products don't count. But as you know, I already have a second channel which calls Clicks That Create Smiles, and that topic is very hot in a community where I am, like in the Amazon influencer community, because I want to show you this directly. If we come here to YouTube's own paperwork, it says you may include paid product placements, endorsements, sponsorship, or other content that requires disclosure to viewers in YouTube, but you need to let us know if you include any of those by selecting the paid promotion box in your video details. So it's basically right here, if other commercial relationship, you need to tell YouTube no that they can put that specific disclosure. And this wording, as a commercial relationship, it covers receiving free products. A product sent to you by a brand in exchange for coverage is a commercial relationship. So when you check this specific box right here, my video contains paid promotion like a product placement, sponsorship, or endorsement. YouTube will show this 10 seconds include paid promotion banner at the start of your video, and that's the only consequences. So when people say that you only if you get like paid or got sponsorship, and if it's not free product, that's not true, because we can still go back and we can read all of this paperwork specifically from YouTube. So even if you get a free product, you still need to click this button. So basically, if any single value came from a brand and it influenced what I put in the video, I check it. And I know a lot of creators, they skip this because it's like a free product, but the documentation is very clear. And I think being transparent with viewers is worth more than avoiding a 10-second banner. In a lot of my beginner videos, usually by FTC, you require not just verbally says that you got a free product, but you also need to put something on a screen. So YouTube already covers you by putting it already on a screen. But even if you do your own manual putting on a screen wording that you got a free product, I would still click that button because you just want to be transparent. And after that, so since nothing has been in this video, I can just unclick this button, but you can see it's automatically starts saving it too, which is nice. And now we come to this next part, which is altered content. And this is basically AI type of content, and we need to disclose it with YouTube. So we can read the specific option YouTube gives us, and they describe what each level means. So if I use an AI generated like B-roll clips to visually illustrate something, that's like a visual tool. It's not really AI generated video. So that distinctions is in a language what YouTube uses. So if your video was primarily or heavily generated by AI, that's different. Then you do need to click yes. But if it's just a couple of the B-rolls, just to help viewers see more visually certain things in your video, then it should be no. And after that, we have a button which is collaboration. So if you're doing collaboration with somebody else, you can invite collaborator. Automatic chapters, that's where we can allow chapters and key moments, make your video easier to watch. So if you don't put your automatic chapters, then YouTube maybe add chapters into your description later on, but it's entirely up to you. I think if you're just kind of starting, don't worry about chapters so much, just click this button and allow automatic chapters and key moments. If you want more precise work and you have a little bit extra time, do your own chapters yourself. And in official YouTube documentations, it actually says that the manual chapters, they override automatic chapters. So what that means that if you manually put your chapters, then you don't need to worry about automatic chapters. But if you do automatic chapters at the beginning, let's say you click this button right here right now, and then later on you want to come back and do manual chapters, then it will be override, because your manual chapters override automatic chapters. So don't worry about it so much if you're just in the beginning of your process. I think chapters are very important for the viewer, especially to understand the context of your video, and maybe they don't want to watch some part, but they may want to jump to another part of your video to get the question answered. So I would leave it up to you how you prefer. I love to do manual chapters, even if it takes a little bit longer time. But as I said, in the beginning of my journey, I didn't even was worried about that part. I just did allow automatic chapters, and if it gets done, great. If it's not, it is what it is. So with the feature places, I usually turn it off. It says help viewers explore key places in your video. There are public places like restaurants and shops. We don't display your current location, other private information. I usually don't want to leave it on because I don't do any videos about some restaurants, but maybe if you do want it, that's a different story. And like I said, we can always learn more and click this button, and we can actually know and find more information about that. The same with automatic concept, help viewers learn more about unfamiliar terms without leaving the video. So if I'm talking about something viewer does not know, then probably it's better for you to bring it and explain it for viewer, rather than something like maybe Wikipedia put extra note into your description to explain for the viewer. I usually turned it off. Okay, and now we come to the tags, and we can fill up our 500 characters, and you can use every keyword you can find. So if we can come to official documentation from YouTube, they say that your video title, thumbnail, and description are way more important pieces of metadata for your video's discovery. And tags can be useful if the content of your video is commonly misspelled. Otherwise, tags play a minimal role in your video discovery. And what I do, basically, I still fill in tags, and I usually love to do around 400 to 450 characters of relevant ones, not because they're driving discovery, but because they're a small extra layer, and that only take a couple of minutes. And I also want to say that you can see this is pre-done tags I already have into my uploads, but you can also do something from suggestion, like something vidIQ can give you a suggestion. But one thing I want to say clearly is the tags field and hashtags in the description, they're completely different things. I actually used to put hashtags right here in the tags section, and when I was just starting. So if you done that, just trust me, you're not alone. Here I am. And you need to remember they're separate. Tags, they're backend metadata, and hashtags go in a description, and they work differently. So now I actually want to come back very quick to hashtags, and as you can see, I already put some hashtags right here, and I want to show it for you official documentation, because YouTube says if you have more than 60 hashtags, we will ignore each hashtag of that content. So they will ignore all of them, and over tagging can get your video removed from search. So in this case, what I do, I usually put around 3 to 6 focused hashtags in the description, and that's it. And they can actually appear on the top of your video later on, but they're not in the tags field. and they're in the description, and I usually put them in the end. And after tags, we can come to this language and caption certifications. I usually put English. This content never aired on television. Recording data and location none. Video location none. License, I have standard YouTube license. Then allow embedding. So what allow embedding, I usually leave this on, and what this actually means that it allows other websites to display your video. For example, if you can embed your own video into your own website, or have page which calls Buy Me a Coffee page, and that's where I can embed one of my videos right there. So the viewer still clicks through to YouTube to watch it, but embedding is not the same as somebody else downloading your video or and keeping it as their own. So with this, publish to subscriptions feed and notify subscribers. YouTube official documentation says that if you click on it, then subscribers get notified. If you unclick on it, then they can't really see the upload in the subscription feed. So the rule is very simple. You can checked means they're notified, unchecked means they're not. And I think for me, and this is like my personal opinion about that, if you have a lot of subscribers who really follow and they're genuine subscribers, I would personally leave it on. But for example, if your channel is not very niched and every time you're posting different video about like different topic, I would probably leave it unchecked and let YouTube try to find the viewers for this specific video. Then for the next one, shorts remixing, I usually leave it on. For the category, you can just pick the closest honest one for you. So for example, for this channel, I use maybe education, or sometimes I can use how to and style, but don't build like a huge strategy around it. And then for the comments, moderation on, I usually like to leave basic moderation, and who can comment anyone right here. And this one show how many viewers like this video. I usually also leave it on. And after that, we just hit next. And now we're going into the video elements right here. And this where you add subtitles and screen, and you can also add cards. So with subtitles and captions, what YouTube says that subtitles and caption help you share videos with larger audience, including deaf or hard of hearing viewers and viewers who also speak another language. So YouTube auto-generates these captions, and they actually gotten pretty good, I would say. Sometimes I could still go back and maybe review mine, especially when I'm explaining something in detail and I want the words to be more accurate. So if you want to do it, you can also upload file. You can do it more manually, but as I said, I usually just leave it on and then go back and maybe review it. So end screens can be added in the last 5 to 20 seconds of the video. So you can just click add, and you can add up to like 4 elements on a standard video, but the end screen must be at least 25 seconds long. So like if you choose this one, for example, we can click to the elements and you can add maybe another video, but just you see one video cannot go on top of each other, so they need to be in a different field, or make it a little bit more bigger or smaller. And you can also add like different buttons. So for example, you can add like subscribe button somewhere. You can see like we can go to different elements, or we can do like discharge changes, and you can come and maybe already do pre-made stuff, and like you can save them. But what I usually do, I usually add like one of the video, and sometimes I can add the subscribe button right here. I don't like to do 4 things because viewers who watching YouTube a lot, they know what end screens looks like. So more choices does not mean more clicks. So when viewers know that your screen is ending, you don't usually want to put like 3 or 4 videos because it will be harder for them to choose. So if you have 2 videos which are clear logical sequences of one another, then you can link one directly to another one. But if someone just found you from a search, it might be worth letting YouTube decide which would be like the best for viewer. So you can choose between most recent upload, or you can just do best for viewer, or you can specifically come and put like specific video. It can let you choose, let's say maybe I want to put this video. But what I noticed over the time that when I just started my channel, I do kind of want to point viewer to one direction or another. But since I start creating more and more videos, I think YouTube knows where that viewer came from and you might not. So in my opinion, I would probably start leaning towards more best for viewer and let YouTube decide which video will be best for the viewer. And you can also decide for how long your video want to be in the end, how long you want your subscribe button to be. So it's entirely up to you, and we can like drag it more up or maybe both of them up or more down. But I wouldn't really go for all like 25 seconds to the end, because viewers already know what end screen looks like, so you don't want them to click off too early from your video. And then we can just click save right here, and then we can go to the cards. And cards, I usually try to use cards very sparingly, so one card at the exact right moment. So when I reference to like specific related video at specific point in the video, that works very well, but you don't want too many cards because then it kind of becomes a little bit too noisy. And you also don't want to put too many of them either, because sometimes you accidentally click away and they don't really finish watching your video. But if I find that moment where I'm pointing people to the different video, and sometimes you can just like need to watch a little bit, then you can just add that specific video, for example this one, and then I can just click save. But you can also choose something like playlist, channel, and link, but you need to be in YouTube partner program to be able to include the link in your video. And after that, we also click next. And in this screen, you can see we have initial checks, right? So this is where YouTube checks your video for copyright issues and community guidelines violation. And these checks, they run automatically while you're uploading your video. One thing knowing that you can move to the next step, like you can move to visibility while all of these checks are still running. And YouTube says you can even publish while all of these checks are running. So they recommend waiting a little bit if monetization matters to you. So still processing check does not mean you're frozen. You just don't have to stare like at this screen and wait while your video get uploaded, because sometimes especially if it's longer video, it usually takes time. So we can just go like right to visibility and then come back to this check if it's still like loading and running. But in my case, it's already all got checked and everything is okay. So now we're going hit next. And quick note, if you're still getting stuck in editing phase before even upload screen is relevant, I have a video where I show you my step-by-step tutorial in this script, how I actually go through edit without burning out. And I can also link it down below. Okay, back to this. And on our last page, we have visibility. And I know a lot of people say that uploading as unlisted before public like hurt your performance. But with YouTube official documentation, they say that switching from unlisted to public should not hurt performance in itself. So what really matters how viewers respond after the video is published. So the fear around unlisted is mostly unfounded. in my opinion. But we can see right here that we can set it as a private, only you can see it. That's where I start usually my every single upload. With unlisted, anyone with a link can see it. So it's useful for sharing like with an editor or reviewing before it goes live. But remember, do not add an unlisted video to a public playlist, because then it's become visible and before you really intended to do it. Then for the public, that's where you can basically you set it live for everyone. But what I love to do, I love to still keep it as a private, and then I love to go and just schedule, and that's, you said, just a future publish time. So what I do for myself, then you can just set up like a date, for example. You can set up a time. I also love like the vidIQ also gives me a little bit peak time where my viewers are more active. But as far as like scheduling it, and that's really like my opinion, I love to upload the file at minimum around like 12 hours before my scheduled publish time. And it's not like YouTube documented rule. I just like giving the system time to process the video before it goes live. But I remember with some of my older videos, I remember when I was uploading them and then just publishing them right away, I wouldn't really see any difference in performance, but I just love to do it and let it sit for like minimum at least like overnight before it goes live. And after that, you can just click button schedule right here, and your video will be scheduled for this exact time and date. So this is probably the most calming thing I can say in this whole video, because almost everything I just walk you through could be edited after your video is already posted. So for example, your title is editable. The same you can do with description. We can do the same with thumbnail, tags, chapters. You can fix your end screen and captions. So what you cannot change is the video file itself. Once it's uploaded, it's already locked, but everything around it could be improved later on. So yes, get your title and your thumbnail ready right before you publish. Don't go with empty placeholder or type something what is not relevant to your video, because those two are doing the most work, especially in the first couple of hours. But everything else you're not locked in, so you can always refine it later on as you go. But the only mistake you can recover is the video would never get published because you're waiting for something to be more perfect. So before I publish and before I set a schedule, I usually ask myself one more question. Does my viewer really understand what's inside my video? Is their question being answered in my video? And that's all. That's all what you need. Not something like, is all of my fields are perfectly being filled up? Or does the vidIQ gave me the most highest score possible? Just something, is this clear? Is this honest? Is this ready enough to be useful? And if yes, of course, I'm posting my video, because the uploading screen shouldn't be another milestone you need to go through. It shouldn't be another place where you back out. It should be just the finish line and you're ready to post. And if you want to know about my editing workflow from rough cut all the way to export, before even any of this uploading stuff happens, you can watch this video next. It will help you to get going without overthinking. Thank you so much for being here. All of the links about YouTube reference information will be linked down below. You can also comment down in the comment section if you have any questions. I will be so happy to help you. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!